Yo, what is up, buddy? The Destructor Gaming Channel here, and today got yourselves another banger. And honestly, I feel like this should be an interesting video. Should gaming be political? And well, the answer to that question for me is yes and no, but I'll explain why. I'll start with this: like, it can be if done right. Cause here's the thing: when it comes to gaming, like adding like political themes and like elements and stuff can really actually enhance like the story and actually give like a clear cut picture of what like you're trying to tell in like an art form. Because regardless, because like politics, yeah, it's a messy can of worms, but that being said, it actually has its benefits if you do it correctly. Now, of course, everyone's going to have their own biased point of views. Obviously, I mean, I have my own personal politics, but everyone like knows, like, from an art form, it has like an idea. It's just, it goes wrong when you start to inject your personal beliefs and start being preachy. But if you use it as like a backdrop, like a sort of like as a theme or something, it's just like give a generalized idea of what they believe in, I think it's fine. Fallout New Vegas is probably the perfect example of that, because that game, it did it perfectly. I mean, for God's sakes, it pretty much showed like this, the good and the bad in like each of the factions from like a political lens, in a sense. Like the NCR is like pretty much just our current form of government, democracy values, all that stuff. Like the Legion's like authoritarian, like, like Roman Empire-esque, like, or you can just be like a full anarchist and say fuck everyone, that type of thing. Like, those ideas can work, and they don't even shove their own messages. Like, it's just like, here's an idea and just go along with it. So in that sense, it can be done right. You just have to do it in a way where it's not like your own personal beliefs in a preachy dumb way. I would say, like, here's the thing. Generally, I would not do it, like, because, well, the reason being is because you just want to have an escape, okay? Like, the world, especially nowadays, it's incredibly fucked up, okay? The world now is so ass. Like, it is shit, my dude. Dude, so you need, like, a good entertainment source to kind of get away from it. Even before, like, the last couple of years, it was like, yeah, this sucks. That's why you don't mention, like, politics that much unless you're, like, trying to be a journalist or something. So that's probably why. But even then, like, I wouldn't recommend doing it, because it's probably going to alienate your core fan base unless you do it in a way to where it actually doesn't alienate a certain section of your fan base, regardless of what you believe on the fucking, like, autistic political spectrum. Like, come on. For that reason alone, I would not do it personally. But again, like I said earlier, you can do it if you know what you're doing. But unfortunately, I think that seems to be a lost art. But I'll get that into a bit. I would also just recommend just focus on the game. This is for game developers, because we've seen like a focus, a person like shoving in your own like political messaging, and it's like, can you guys just fuck off? Like, just seriously, we don't give a shit about like strong women just for the sake of it. I mean, you saw how that went for like Saints Row reboot. Okay, that went miserably. The Last of Us 2 was a huge disappointment from the first one. Like Gears 5 was a complete epic failure because you wanted to inject your own personal politics and it backfired. Woo, we've heard these themes before, and unfortunately, you should just focus on the game, because at the end of the day, video games are not meant to be bought. Video games are meant to be, well, fucking played. It literally says video games. Come on, you want to fucking play this shit. You can't really expect to be like, oh, we're going to just inject the narrative. It's like, how about go fuck yourself? Like, worldly, especially concerning when it comes to gaming. Well, being a game is generally a lost art, because everything now, because game developers have no clue what it is to make an interesting game, or, just to make it a game. Instead, no, instead it's just the excuse to have like an interactive movie, a shitty one at that, like an interactive B movie. And it's like, what's the point? It just feels so draining. Maybe that's why gaming now is like so unplayable, like that comes out, that any new games. Maybe that's why, because it's just interactive movie garbage instead of actually trying to be an interesting game where it actually tests your skills, and like in a way where it's like, oh my god, yes. And even then, if a game is like popular, well, at least like this new what is that new game? Hogwarts Legacy or what the fuck? Some fucking Harry Potter looking ass game. Like, even then, that's gonna have some own, like, bullshit political narrative shit because the fucking people want to boycott it and people are like, nah, let's play it. So it's like, Wizards, cool. But again, being a game is like a lost art. Like, it used to be just like, hey, is this game gonna be worth my money or not? To now it's just like, is this game not gonna have like some corny political agendas or not? We have gone to the point where we're actually worried about that before the quality of the game, and it's honestly really fucking sad. And honestly, it just makes me depressed just saying it out loud. But welcome to the fucking world for you. Like, I don't know. And here's the thing: there's something I can like, see working, and this is definitely true. I believe. I feel like almost all games have somewhat of a message. Now, it doesn't mean it's a political messaging, but it can be framed as such in a way, you know? When you really play a video game, it's giving you like a little message throughout the game. I like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, one of my favorite games of all time. That game is pretty much kind of just like has a pro-environmental like message going on. It doesn't explicitly say it, but if you see like little cutscenes in that game and just keep progressing through, you kind of get the gist of the message when you think about it. Like, you know, it's little hints like that. There'll be little hints telling you like, hey, this is what it is. Now, granted, not all games are like that. Some games are just like, yeah, shut your brain off and have fun with it. But every game, it doesn't matter if it's a Call of Duty or, you know, a GTA, they will have some form of a message. It's just your job to pick up on it if you're really interested. If not, who gives a fuck, because it doesn't distract from the game. But it's more for the dedicated fan or like the dedicated consumer and like the higher IQ and like person who like, oh, that's what it's talking about. That's interesting. And honestly, it is, but at the end of the day, like I said, who fucking cares? Yeehaw! But still, like, everything's gonna have like a message in life, so that's what it is. And I have to like say this, like, bro, we live in an age where everything gets overanalyzed, where it just becomes fucked. Because this is the internet, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, we have to overanalyze and pretend we're actually much smarter than we actually are. But in reality, we're just a bunch of fucking like dumbasses with like an opinion, and we just talk shit and act like a bunch of wannabe tough guys on the internet because the internet is enabled little punk bitches. That's pretty much like the whole gist of it. And with gaming, it's pretty much like saying you can have like the most contrarian, ridiculous opinion possible and no one will give you shit for it. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does that have to do with political stuff? Well, let me tell you this. You can just literally want to boycott a game because some politics doesn't agree with you, and you can start complaining about a game that you have a problem with because it has meh fucking gay people or strong women or, you know, being anti-gay or whatever. Like the complete opposite. And all I'm just thinking is like, geez Louise, I feel bad if you're a game developer who has to like waste their time hearing all this feedback from these fucking virgins. It's honestly sad. Now, the moral of this video is, for the love of God, leave the internet. Go outside. No, seriously. The people that overanalyze these games and expect everything to just fit the little narratives that it's just like, oh, everything is like racism this, you know, like I'm looking at you, the fucking Kaepernick, you little British twat, fuck you. No, but like, seriously, leave the internet, like seriously, go outside, touch grass, like, no, I'm being dead serious with this shit, because there's people on the internet that will talk about culture, gaming, entertainment, all that, and overanalyze the living fuck out of it because it wants to fit their narrative, and it's like, dude, touch grass. It's actually kind of fucking weird and disturbing. Like, just stop. But anyway, this has been Destructor Gaming Channel. Hope you'll enjoy this video. Take care, and of course, God bless you all.